Birshus, with the permission of friends old and new. Tonight we begin learning the 6th Mishnah. And while I have tried to learn one Mishnah a night, this Mishnah is a treasure trove of pithy, incredible statements that one shear, or one 5-minute, 10-minute, or 15-minute of our Torah concerning all of the 3 major statements made in this particular Mishnah would not do it justice. So tonight, we will only focus on one of the adages of this particular Mishnah and continue in the following evenings. The following is what is said in the 6th Mishnah. Yehoshua ben Prachya v'Nitai Hoarbeli kiblu mehem. Yeshua ben Prachya and Nitai Hoarbeli, they acquired it from them. Who did they acquire it from? The people in the last Mishnah. Who were they? Yosi ben Yoezer, Ish Tzareda v'Yosi ben Yochanan Yeshu Shalayim. Yeshua ben Prachya Omer, the Mishnah continues and says, Yeshua ben Prachya said, Aseh l'charav, make yourself a rabbi, uknei l'cha chaver, and acquire for yourself a friend, v'havidan es kol ha'odom lekavschus, and give every single individual the benefit of the doubt. This Mishnah introduces the second set of the zugos of the pairs. Aseh l'charav, make for yourself a rabbi. The Medrash Shmuel, one of the foremost commentators in our history on Pirkei Avot, contends that the prime message of this particular adage of Aseh l'charav is to select one Rav to render decisions, rather than to utilize a number of Rabbonim for such purposes. Having one Rav eliminates the probability of different and even conflicting or competing rabbinical rulings. As they say in the lawyerly world, there's no forum shopping, there's no judge shopping, and there should distinctly be no rabbinical shopping as well. Aseh l'charav, make for yourself a rabbi. All right-thinking people value expertise. Doctors know medicine, lawyers navigate the legal system, and engineers guide the shape and structure of things, and so on. Someone who has no medical or legal training has limited insight into those fields. And you know what, Rabbi say? Torah has experts too. According to Rabbi Yosef Ber Soloveitchik, when people talk about a meaningful halacha, of unfettering or unfreezing halacha, or an empirical halacha, they are basically proposing Korach's approach. Lacking a knowledge of halachic methodology, which can only be achieved through extensive study, they instead apply common sense reasoning replete with platitudes and cliches. This common sense, as opposed to das Torah, is replete with platitudes and cliches, and should not receive serious credence in halacha. Such judgments are pseudo-statements, lacking sophistication about depth, relationships, and meanings. Aseh l'charav. Notice the terminology. One Rav, not 2. Really? Is that really so? Just one Rav and not multiple Rabbonim? The Gemara says in Avodah Zarah the following. Kol haloimid Torah mirav echad. Anybody who learns Torah from just one singular rabbi, Eina roa simin bracha la'olam, he will not see success in his endeavors forever. This Talmudic dictum appears at odds with our Mishnah of Aseh l'charav. The Gemara continues and teaches that this applies to where a student studies under one master, his ability to reason and infer concepts becomes dulled. But to extrapolate and expand one's logical reasoning, many masters should be engaged. To expand one's ability, or as the Gemara puts it, their svara, lots of Rabbonim should be studied from. But the dilemma between the Gemara in Avodah Zarah and our Mishnah of Aseh l'charav has not been resolved. So let us attempt a synthesis of these two concepts. So many of the Meforshim explain that when it comes to Yediyas, rote knowledge, Bekiyas, mastery of the information itself, then one Rav is vital and important for your studies. But if you want to expand reasoning capabilities through Kaviyachol, Le'elef Alfei Avdolas, the Socratic method, then Svara and others should be engaged to teach you Torah. Aseh l'charav, make for yourself a rabbi. Some interpret this maxim to mean that if you are unlearned, you're unschooled, you should make yourself into a rabbi. Oh, really? What does that mean? You know the famous story of Rabbi Akiva. It's quoted in the Avos de Rabbi Nassan. And in Avos de Rabbi Nassan it goes as follows. Ma hoyat chilasol shel Rabbi Akiva. What was the beginning of Rabbi Akiva? Ben arboim shana veloshina. He was 40 years old and he had never learned. He didn't even know Aleph Beis. But who is this person? If you're nobody, if you think you're nobody and you know nothing, it's not over. There's still time. The Balabayas is knocking on the door. It is never too late to learn. Make yourself into a rabbi. Go and learn. Aseh l'charav. Become a rabbi. Still others maintain. Aseh l'charav. Make for yourself a rabbi. Make yourself into a rav. Ask yourself before you engage in any conduct, any act. What would a rabbi do? What would my Rebbe do? What would Hashem want me to do? Aseh l'charav. Make for yourself a rav. Now, apart from textual knowledge alone, a rav should possess a number of moral qualities. The Torah tells us in Parshas Vayigash, V'es Yehuda shalach lefonav, and Yaakov Avinu sent Yehuda before him, El Yosef to Yosef, lehodos lefonav Goshna, to instruct in Goshen. Rashi on the spot says the following, lehodos lefonav, to instruct or give instructions before he would himself come down to Egypt, letaking lo beis Talmud, that it was the obligation or the responsibility of Yehuda to establish a house of learning. Shemisham teitzei hora. From there will emanate instruction. Yehuda's task given to him by Yaakov Avinu was to establish a Beis Medrash in Mitzrayim. My Rosh Yeshiva had a Baruch Mordechai Ezrachi Shlita. I once heard him say the following: Why was it necessary to send Yehuda? Yosef was there already. Why did I need somebody else? Yehuda, we know, was learning the entire time that he was absent from Yaakov Avinu. He kept all Torah and mitzvahs. So why was it vital to send somebody else with the task? Yosef was there. And if anybody would have been more apropos to establish a house of learning in an institution, in an academy of Torah, who not but for the viceroy of Egypt himself, Yosef? So my Rosh Yeshiva said, no. Absolutely not. And here's the reason. Because the Torah of Eretz Yisrael is more pure. Avira da Aretz Machkima. The air, the atmosphere of Eretz Yisrael makes one wise. But he went on, my Rosh Yeshiva, and he said the following. The reason he sent his Yehuda is because in Egypt, Yosef was subject to not merely being in the physical location of Chutz La'aretz, but he was also physically in proximity to the culture of Egypt itself. Whereas Yehuda, who had continuously been by Yaakov Avinu in Eretz Yisrael, his crystalline purity was never tainted nor cracked. There were no fissures within his crystal. My Zaidi, my father, Rav Yaakov Simcha, used to like to quote my grandfather, Rav Yaakov Naiman Zatzal, who said a little bit differently than my Rosh Yeshiva. He asks the same kasha. Why was Yehuda selected by Yaakov Avinu to go down to Egypt and establish a Beis HaMedrash, an academy of learning? So Zaidi says that Yehuda had a number of special qualities, special moral qualities, that made him the most apt to serve as a Rosh Yeshiva and the teacher of Yiddishkeit and Judaism and Torah in Goshen and Chutz La'aretz. Number one, Yehuda had compassion. When his brothers desired to kill Yosef, Lechu v'na'argeu, let us go and let us kill him, Yehuda challenged them and convinced them otherwise. And he said, Ma betza ki na'arog es achino. What profit is there in killing our brother? Yehuda intervened. Yehuda didn't desire Yosef's death and would not let others do so either. A Rosh Yeshiva must be able to protect his students and see to it that no harm comes their way. Someone who has the ability to stand up, as Yehuda also did to Yosef himself, Vayigash Elov Yehuda, to defend openly. Another has the moral fiber and the backbone and constitution to be a Rav, a manhig, and a leader of Klal Yisrael. That and those are the markings of Aseh L'charav. Number two, my Zaidi said, Yehuda had the ability to recognize his own mistakes and shortcomings. In the incident with Tamar, Yehuda declares publicly, Tzodka mimeni, she is more righteous than me. She's right, and I was wrong. Yehuda does not hide from the truth. He confronts it face on when he committed a wrong. For those reasons, says my Zaidi, Yehuda was privileged to be selected to establish the Torah, Mesorah, V'Horah, L'Klal Yisrael. This is the type of Torah leader who should be entrusted with the care and Torah development of the young. Comes along with Meir Shapira, quoting a Medrash Tanchuma, says the following: Mipnei ma zocha Shaul lemalchus. In what merit did King Shaul acquire the Melucha, the kingship over Klal Yisrael? Mipnei shahoya madlik nedos b'mabuos ho'afelim. Because he would go and light candles in the recesses of the shade and darkness. If you want to be a leader of Klal Yisrael, if you want to be a manhig and you want to be a rav, and you want to be that person who is listened to and who has the ability to teach Torah, not just through knowledge, but through example, then you have to be willing to go into the recesses of darkness and light the candle of hope to all those who need it. Within the recesses of darkness. The first leg of the tripod is ala Torah, on Torah. But it is a Torah born and instilled with compassion and moral qualities. V'ani amarti olam chesed yiboneh. Good night.